What is going on, everybody? It's Stas here. So we had a pretty solid day in the stock market today. The S&P 500 went up about 1%. The NASDAQ 100 went up over 1%. We had the Dow up 0.7% and the Russell 2000 up 2%. So today we're going to break down some stocks, some charts, my thoughts on the market, some earnings reports, plus more. So sit back, relax, hit the like button, subscribe, check out my Patreon down below if you guys want all my buy, sells, call outs, morning update videos, plus more. All that's on Patreon. And with that being said, let's get right into the video. So the market breakout continues. SPY, like I said, ended up going up 1% today, and you guys can clearly see the pullback that we saw from 2 days ago heading into yesterday was just a pullback. Simply that, a healthy pullback. And if I pull up this intraday, actually, let's pull up the 5-day chart. You guys can see exactly that. We hit the all-time high on Tuesday, and then yesterday on Wednesday, we saw that big pullback heading into the close, and then this morning and yesterday after hours, we got consolidation right around 454, 455, which was that all-time high from the beginning of September. So the fact that we pulled back, we held that old resistance as new support is a great sign. And the fact that we ripped pretty much all day today above 455, that's even a better sign. And we closed 17 cents shy of the all-time high. You guys can see we closed at 458.32 and the all-time high being 458.49. That's 17 cents if you guys can do the basic math, right? And yeah, we're looking more bullish than ever. So at this point, I'm going to set my alert at 460 just to have a nice round number as that alert, because at that point, I believe we could start breaking out maybe for the next leg up, 465, maybe even towards 470. So let's pop up QQQ. Let's see what's going on here. It looks like we hit another all-time high today at $384.60, and that is after hours, and now we're actually selling off after that. And just like SPY, we saw a big push all throughout the day today from 381 to about 384.60 just 30 minutes ago, and Amazon and Apple reported today, which we're going to go over later in this video, so make sure you guys stick throughout, and that could be why we're selling off, which again, we'll talk about that later on in this video. But as long as QQQ holds 378, 376-ish, which as of now it is, this is going to remain bullish in my point of view. So what do you guys think? Let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. Make sure to smash the like button if you all are finding value in this video, my videos in general. I appreciate you guys as always. And now let's talk about some stocks. And I'll be honest, I cheated a little bit. I cheated. Typically during earnings season, I don't look at the stocks before making the videos, but in this case, I looked at Amazon, and last time I checked, guys, about 10-20 minutes ago, Amazon was selling off. So let's pop it up and let's see exactly what they ended up reporting. And first and foremost, before we even talk about that, the stock closed at $34.46. It went up 50 bucks, 1.6% on the day, and now it's trading down almost $200 from where it closed. So that should tell you that Amazon, the earnings were not that great, and you guys know the big tech stocks have a huge weighting on the overall markets, and that is why we're seeing QQQ fall after hours, because Amazon is taking a beating. So what did they report? They ended up doing $6.12 of EPS, which completely missed compared to the $8.92 estimate. So we missed EPS, and revenue, believe it or not, also missed. And typically, guys, Amazon is a company that beats revenue, but in this case, they did $110.8 billion versus $111.6 billion estimated. So double miss on Amazon, which is very interesting, right? We typically don't see that too often. And their guidance for the upcoming quarter, not looking great either. Q4 sales are expected to be 130 to 140 billion versus the 142.05 billion estimated. So they missed EPS, missed revenue, disappointed on the upcoming quarter's guidance, and this has to be the supply chain problems. It has to be at this point. I'm not seeing anything here necessarily, but I'm going to go and listen to the earnings call later tonight, and I might even buy more Amazon tomorrow because as of now, I own Amazon. I don't plan on selling it, and I simply average in over time. Right now it's down 5% after hours. That's a decent enough dip for me to buy some fractional shares. So Amazon, it's now trading towards the bottom of this wedge, as you guys can see on the 4-hour chart. So let's see what it does. Now let's go to Mastercard, MA, and typically Apple. I would talk about Apple now, but they typically report a little bit later. That's how Apple is. If you guys follow Apple, you know that. So let's talk a little bit about Mastercard, which, full disclosure, I bought more Mastercard today in my long-term account, and all of you guys on Patreon know that because I post all my buys, sells, I post my call-outs, and every move I make, quite frankly, in the markets, I post on Patreon. So if you're interested, that's linked down below, and let's go over what they ended up reporting. They did EPS of $2.37 versus $2.19 estimated. They did revenue of $5 billion versus $4.95 billion estimated. So double beat for Mastercard. And let me see here. Did they give, I don't think they gave guidance, but one thing I really liked is the cross-border volume being up 52%. That is a big number. And Q3 gross dollar volume in general was up 20% to 2.0 trillion, which is unbelievable. And I've talked about this stock. I mentioned it yesterday, or was that the day before? No, actually, no, that was yesterday. We went over Visa and MasterCard, how both of these stocks are crashing. MasterCard is down about 18% from the all-time high. It's very close to a bear market here. And for me, when I'm looking at my long-term investments, guys, that I want to hold for 3, 5, 10 years out, which Mastercard is one of those, I pretty much average in when it dips 10%, let alone 20%. I'm definitely averaging in at 20%. So Mastercard, not bad for earnings. I'm buying more. And if it goes lower 300s, heck, if it goes 200s again, I'm going to be buying even more. So let's go over Shopify. Then we'll take a look at Apple and see if they ended up reporting. So Shopify had a great day. It went up 7% on the day, up about $100 per share. And you guys can see it filled the entire gap up to the top of the downwards channel, which it has been in, and it's pretty much been under the moving averages as well over the past couple of months, pretty much since August of 2021. So let's see what they reported. We had a lot of volume today. Look at that volume spike, which is pretty insane. So they did 81 cents of EPS, which ended up being down from the $1.13 they did a year ago, and sales came in at $1.12 billion, which was up from the $767 million from a year ago. And I wish they showed the estimates here. I'm not seeing estimates or guidance for Shopify. Maybe there's a reason why they're not giving out that guidance, but overall, this is on its way to breaking out. So I'm going to put my alert at 1475. That would be right above the moving averages, right above this downwards channel and the high point from about a week ago. And honestly, if it breaks 1475 into 1500 plus, that is where I see the next leg up coming on Shopify out of the moving averages and out of the downwards channel. And that is where we could catch a nice momentum trade. So let's go over Apple. Let's even see if they reported, guys. Typically, like I said, they take some time. Oh, there we go. They did report, and the stock is down about, oh, there goes my dog. Let me calm her down really quickly, guys. I don't want her barking. Relax, Ibiza. It's okay. It's all right. Anyway, guys, so the stock closed at $150, right? It went up 2.5% on the day. Now it's at 146.78. So let's see what they did and the different segments here. So for EPS, they ended up doing $1.24, which came in line with the estimates, and they missed sales as well, guys. Oh my goodness. Just like Amazon, they missed sales, 83.4 million versus 84.85, or wait a second, that's a typo. 83 million. That's Apple, guys. That should be a B. 83.4 billion versus the 84.85 billion. So they missed revenue, came in line with the EPS, and the America sales looks like they're up from a year ago. Europe sales are up from a year ago. iPhone sales are up a lot. Holy crap, look at that. iPhone sales 38.86 billion, up from 26 billion last year. That is ridiculous. China sales doubled from last year, 14.5 billion to versus the 7.9 from last year. IMAX sales are up from 9.03 last year, billion that is, in dollars, by the way, guys, and they did 9.17 billion this year, so they're doing pretty well. But the revenue missed. So that's going to have a drag on the markets these next couple of days. It has to, guys. I mean, if you're seeing the two of the biggest companies out there, Apple, Amazon, missing their revenue, that is not a good sign whatsoever, at least in the short term. Is there anything here on... This is definitely the supply shortages. I mean, this is causing a problem across the economy here, and it's hitting the biggest companies out there, or at least it's part of the problem here, right? So it looks like that Head and Shoulders is still intact on Apple right now. We have the left shoulder here. We got the head right here, the right shoulder, and the neckline is right around $150, which we did break out of earlier today. If you guys were watching, Apple was trading at 153. We closed at 152.57, and now we're trading in the low mid 146s. So yeah, we're failing at the neckline. It's not a good sign that they missed their numbers here. It's really not. So I'm going to tune into their earnings call and Amazon's earnings call, and I'm probably going to watch them at 2x speed so I can just zip right through them, see if there's anything that needs to be addressed or any big problems. We got to look at these companies, guys. Even if you're not invested in Apple, Amazon, like I've been saying all the time in my videos, they make a huge a portion of the index. They're a huge portion of the index, so we all have to pay attention to these companies. So let's go over Starbucks, which I've been drinking a lot of Starbucks lately. I'm not going to lie to you guys. They're also down. They closed at 113. Now they're trading at 110 after hours. Looks like they are testing the bottom of this channel or wedge, whatever you want to call it, on the 4-hour chart. And if I pop up the live news tab, let's see what they did. Wow, they missed sales as well. What is going on here, guys? EPS came in at $1 versus 99 cents estimated, so they barely beat EPS for Q4. Sales came in at $8.15 billion versus $8.21 billion estimated. So they barely beat EPS. They barely missed sales as well. So they beat EPS, missed sales. Is there anything for guidance? Or they're going to give their guidance during the conference call, which is obviously later on in the day. And we're seeing U.S. full year 2021 comparable store sales increased by 21%. Not too bad. That's pretty good, actually. International comparable store sales were up 16%. China comparable store sales increased by 17%. Global comparable store sales increased 20%. So that is not too bad. I'm not going to lie. In fact, like I said, that is pretty good. So we're going to see their guidance that should come out later. And don't be surprised if that changes the overall trend of the stock. Like I always mention during earnings season, guidance is everything. So if we end up getting that in the earnings call later, let's say guidance, it looks great for full year the next year, this is probably going to start ripping back up. So don't be surprised if that ends up happening. Now, let's talk about Caterpillar, ticker symbol CAT. Let me pop it up. Caterpillar went up 4%, up $8 per share, and they actually reported earnings in the pre-market. So let's see what they did. I did look at this earlier. We talked about it in my morning update video on Patreon. So let's see here. I forget what they reported. Oh, there it is. 266 EPS versus the 220 estimated. So they crushed EPS, and sales came in at $12.4 billion versus $12.48 billion estimated. So they also missed. They beat EPS, but they missed revenue. So pretty much, what company didn't miss revenue that we're talking about today? Mastercard? Maybe Shopify. I mean, these stocks are, or these companies are missing revenue, but it seems like Caterpillar stock didn't give a crap. I mean, this thing ended up ripping. Like I said, it went up over 4% on the day. And at this point in time, I mean, I have my alert set at 205, which is that high point from last week. You guys can see that. And that's also the support. If you guys look at this chart from the middle of June, pretty much all throughout the middle of June, heading into the beginning towards the middle of September. So 3 months, we held 205 as support. And obviously, when a support breaks, it becomes resistance. So it's imperative for Caterpillar stock to break 205. And at that point, we have some gaps to fill on the upside. I'm talking 215, 225. I mean, that is where we could be going. So Caterpillar is looking pretty solid. I mean, out of all these stocks we're talking about today, this is this along with Shopify are pretty much the only two that are moving. And Mastercard barely did. Did Mastercard go up about 0.8% or down? It went down 0.8%. So really, guys, Caterpillar and Shop are the only ones that are moving right now. And let's go over Airbnb quickly because I've been getting this one in my comments, and quite frankly, I forgot about Airbnb stock until today. Not that I forgot about it completely, but I just haven't been paying attention to it. And you guys can see this one's looking pretty good. The setup is solid. I'm seeing an ascending triangle on this 4-hour chart. We've been making higher lows since the middle of August, so almost 2.5 months, from 142 to 160 to 170. Now we're starting to hold about 172. We're starting to push back up, and we have clear resistance at about 175. So we're squeezing deeper into this triangle, and you guys know how this plays out, right? I mean, with earnings coming up, which are when here, the 4th of November, so that's next week. With earnings coming up, this could end up seeing a leg out of here. With travel's been moving up. I know I've been to a couple Airbnbs the past couple of months, the past quarter. So maybe not a couple Airbnbs. I'm blowing that out of proportion. But I've been to at least one or two, right? So we'll see if this ends up squeezing out of there. There could be a nice push. So keep your eyes out on Airbnb. I'm going to put my alert at 175, and I'll watch what it does from there. And let's go back rather to Apple. See how that's looking right now. Still trading in the mid 146s. Let's look at Amazon. Now Amazon's recovering a bit. It was at 3260. Now it's pushing 3300, a little above 3,300. So the markets today, guys, were good, but now that we're seeing the big tech names drag down a little bit, that's going to have a drag on the markets most likely tomorrow, unless they just rip and bounce back by pre-market and recover all the losses. If that happens, if they recover all the losses, then hey, maybe we do end up having a green day tomorrow again. But if Apple and Amazon are down, that might drag Google and the other stocks down. We might have a red day tomorrow. That's just the truth. So overall, that's pretty much it, guys. We're about 18 minutes in. Let's wrap it up here. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe. Check out my Patreon down below if you guys want my real-time buys, sells, call-outs, morning update videos, all that good stuff. Every move I make is posted on Patreon. Plus, I make morning videos there for my top-tier patrons. That's linked down below, or you guys can go to StockSurfS.com/Patreon. That's StockSurfS.com/Patreon. Make sure to also get your 2 stocks from Webull up to $1,600, your $30 from M1 Finance. Both of those are linked right down below, and that's it. And oh, by the way, I made a video earlier going over something that is pretty crazy right now, and you guys got to check it out. I'll pop it up here. Watch that video if you haven't done so already. I'll see you there. Thanks for watching again. As always, keep crushing the markets. Stay safe out there. Peace out, guys.